Hey guys, how's it going? We are taking a deep dive into how to get started with Xcode so you can start building iOS apps in no time. Let's go deep. Now in this video, we are looking at the editor area. If you followed the previous videos of this series, you already know how to set up a new project and you are already familiarized with the various panes of Xcode and their features and capabilities. If we open a storyboard file, the way we interact with the UI element dynamically is by dragging and dropping UI elements on the storyboard, and we can set up the way the editor shows the several elements. By default, we have the Show Editor Only. If we choose Preview, we have our code and the preview of the UI end result rendered in almost real time by Xcode. This is a great help when you are implementing your UI interfaces by code only, using UIKit or SwiftUI. Now be sure you have a Mac with decent graphics capabilities, as this will be an intense task for your Mac. Next we have the Assistant, which is commonly used when working with storyboards, since we can drag the UI elements from the storyboard into the corresponding view controller by dragging and pressing the Control key at the same time. For example, I can call this my label, and now I have access to this variable. Another interesting option we have is the Minimap when we are using a code file, which shows where you are on the file map by highlighting the area of the file that is currently being displayed on the screen. You can see that when I scroll, the highlights also scroll. This is a nice feature if you have enough real estate available on your monitor. Another interesting option, which you'll definitely need in a production environment, is the code coverage option, which will visually give feedback on the percentage of your code that is covered by unit testing. And visibles shows the white space characters like spaces, enters, tabs, and so on. If we have an error on your code, and I'll purposely make a typo on the code, we'll have visual feedback. And if we go to the Issues Navigator, we'll find the description of the error. The other button on the top right corner of the editor, with that we can open another editor tab, and you can close it on the left. And the editor on the right will allow us to have another code file, and we can exit it off. You can see on the top of your editor the exact file path of the current file, and if you click in any of those sections, you'll find what's inside that level. For example, if you click on app delegate, you will see that the app delegate is composed of a method, then we have a mark section, another method, and finally another method. When you are creating code on several files at the same time, which, by the way, will very often happen, then you can easily go back and forth between the latest files open by clicking on those top arrows. For general preferences, go to Xcode Preferences. In Accounts, you can set up your Apple developer account. In Fonts and Colors, you can define the theme of your editor. In Text Editing, you can select line numbers and set the indentation spaces under the tab Indentation. But apart from that, the default options will probably be good enough. For quick help and information, click on the class or method you want to inspect and check the question mark on the right pane, the Quick Help Inspector. Or you can even press Alt or Option and click on the class or method name, and a pop-up will show up with a Quick Help. The Quick Help is a summary of the class or method documentation, but you can go into more detail by opening the developer documentation. In here you'll find a more in-depth explanation. Another way of accessing is going to Window Developer Documentation. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you found this tutorial useful. I'll see you on the next video.